Good evening, everyone. My name is Hayley Heath. I'm the Citywide Volunteer Coordinator, and I believe I have the best job in the city. Not only do I get to work with dedicated staff who believe that committed citizens can make a real difference and leave a legacy in Vancouver through volunteer service, but I also get to work with hundreds of those volunteers leaving that legacy and making that impact. If you've never volunteered before, you may ask yourself, why would I want to do that? Well, imagine helping Vancouver become an even more vibrant, safe, and welcoming city as a member of the Planning Commission. Imagine setting out on foot or on bike with your neighborhood team on a beautiful day, much like today, to support the Vancouver Police through the Neighbors on Watch program. Imagine yourself sitting under the shade of a tree with your grandchild, a tree that you planted years before with the Urban Forestry Department. Imagine volunteering with your neighbors on projects to beautify your neighborhood park through the Adopt a Park program. These are just a few examples of the numerous and diverse opportunities you can choose from with the City of Vancouver's volunteer program. And there are even more opportunities and options through one of the many nonprofit organizations doing a valuable and essential work in our city. We appreciate the opportunity to work with thousands of community members to find citizen-supported solutions to our community's greatest needs. And as a small token of our appreciation, we've created this video for you to enjoy.
Hi, I'm a Now volunteer. That stands for Neighbors on Watch. We are eyes and ears for the Vancouver Police Department.
Okay, there's probably 30. Thank you, Fire Corps volunteers. From the Fire Marshal's office, with your help in 2017, we've reached over 2,000 homes with Project Home Safe and our smoke alarm program.
Project Home Safe.
I volunteer on the Planning Commission to help make recommendations to City Council on how our city will grow.
Typically, that leads to a comprehensive plan.
Vancouver youth sports coaches spend tens of thousands of hours each year teaching and leading Vancouver's next generation of community members and leaders. We want to say thank you.
Kim and I are mother-daughter. We love volunteering in our community.
I decided to work for Meals on Wheels people and deliver food to the elderly that cannot get out on a daily basis. Meals on Wheels has been very rewarding.
The city thanks the 274 volunteer leaders that keep our 67 neighborhood associations well connected with the city. The city values these volunteers and their ongoing support and commitment to their neighborhood associations.
I love volunteering at the Water Resource Education Center because it is a great opportunity for kids and families to learn about their environment and groundwater protection.
Each volunteer's dedication to making our community a healthy, greener place inspires us every day. Volunteers are the most important resource we have, and volunteers truly keep Vancouver growing. So thank you and keep planting.
We've been volunteering here at Share Orchards Inn for a little over a year. Olivia and I have been volunteering a lot since she was about 5, and she likes to cook, and we like to volunteer together, and that's how we ended up here at Orchards Inn.
It allows me to give back to the community and also gives me an opportunity to do what I love, which is hike the trails in the Pacific Northwest. And without hiking guides, we would not have a hiking program.
shout out to the Adopt a Park volunteers. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate all your enthusiasm, extra work, and it helps our parks look terrific. Thanks so much.
Thank you to CVTV for giving us a really good example of what volunteers are up to in our community. A small sample, really. After the evening tonight, please come by our table in the back, and information about volunteerism is there. We also have a number of other staff volunteer coordinators at the city that are there wearing Ask Me How You Can Get Involved names tags. So ask them. Any of us would love to share some of the volunteer successes of our city, and or maybe find a right match for you as a volunteer if you're not already involved. You'll notice that there's some activity over to the right here during our event. Graphic recording artist Leah Fuller of Urban Wild will be commemorating tonight's event. And you're welcome to check out the final product before you leave tonight. And we'll also be sharing it on the city's social media pages tomorrow, so you can check those out. Now, I was going to be introducing Corporal Ray Reynolds with the Vancouver Police Department, but unfortunately he was pulled away at the last minute by police business. So, Steve Becker with the Vancouver Downtown Association has boldly and spontaneously agreed to lead us all in the national anthem as a sing-along. So, warm up your singing voices.
Would you please rise? Join me. I mean, can you say no to our mayor? I can't. So please join with me in singing our Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? You're awesome!
Wow. Wow, thank you, Steve, and thanks to all of you for starting our night off like that. And now to officially start tonight's State of the City event, please welcome one of Vancouver's most involved, tireless, and dedicated volunteers, City of Vancouver Mayor Anne McInerney Ogle.
Well, I don't know about the tireless part. Thank you, Hayley, and happy birthday. Good job. Yeah, let's say happy birthday, Hayley. There you go. There you go. Well, good evening, Steve. You did a wonderful job. I know you said you were shaking, but so am I, so we're even. There we go. It's truly a privilege to be here this evening with you. Thank you so much. Every year, the State of the City event gives us the opportunity to get together and review some of the accomplishments, to talk about who we are and where we're going. It's a chance for us to share in our vision for the future of Vancouver. And as I look around this room, I see a wealth of creativity, experience, and passion for our city. And for that, I'm very thankful. I heard it said that the future belongs to those who shape it, and there's a lot of evidence of that in this room. You just saw a heartfelt thanks to our volunteers in the video, and we just watched some of the most exciting things that happened, and I'd like to echo the sentiment. Thank you, volunteers. Would you raise your hand if you're a volunteer for the City of Vancouver? Thank you so much. I've had the privilege of meeting hundreds of people in our city over the years, and I've seen the great things that our residents are doing every single day. Some things you hear about, and some things you don't. There are a lot of quiet heroes out here. And everyday residents of Vancouver are doing great things in classrooms, in boardrooms, in parks, in neighborhood associations. There's so much happening out there that it's impossible to know all about it. But what I do know is that our community is a much better place because of it. I'd like to start off by recognizing my fellow council members here, Bill Turley, Alicia Topper, Ty Stober, and our newest council member, Lori Lebowski. I'd also like to recognize two council members who unfortunately couldn't join us this evening. They're with families doing all sorts of wonderful things across Spokane, and I think in Chicago, Bart Hansen and Linda Glover. Yeah. And it's an honor to serve with my colleagues, and I look forward to the work we'll do together in the coming years to move Vancouver forward. After 4 years as a council member and 3 months as a mayor, I have an even greater respect for the tremendous energy and commitment it takes to be a public servant. And I'd like to extend a big thank you to our city manager, Eric Holmes, and for all the city staff. Eric, thank you so much for what you do and for the exceptionally high-quality workforce we have. In my many conversations with Vancouver residents, I consistently hear from people that they want local government that works, that is effective, that is a great steward of taxpayer money, that takes care of the public assets and delivers basic services well. And from what I've observed from my years on council is that every day the city's 1,019 employees strive to do just that. City employees work hard every day to maintain our streets, to keep us safe, to plan for growth, to better our parks, and make sure that when we turn on the tap, we have safe, clean drinking water. And those are only a few of the services they provide. They do a tremendous job, and I extend our deepest thanks to all of them. And happy birthday, Jan Bader. We have lots of elected officials here, from the legislature, from the state, from the county. I need all of you to wave your hands if you're an elected official for so many reasons. Thank you so much. I'd like to point out one. John Cooke is the mayor of Tigard. And what does that mean? That means when I came on board, this was my mentor. As we met at National Mayor's Conference, we've developed a relationship because we're working on some problems together. And it's so nice to know that the mayor of Tigard took more than an hour to drive up here for us. I'd also like to thank all of our community partners. We've been building strong relationships with the county, the port. We've had school districts here, the library, our state and federal legislators, our community and business associations, our nonprofits, our service providers, and so many more, including ALNA. Thank you so much for joining us. We could not do the job of serving the City of Vancouver without your involvement. And finally, Terry, thank you so much, sweetie. I want to thank my husband for his unending love and support. Thanks. Throughout my career, I've had a passion for serving others, first as a math teacher, and then through volunteering, serving on boards and committees in my neighborhood association. But when I was asked to serve on the Planning Commission, I was able to see firsthand the important impact that public servants can have on their communities. And it was through my Planning Commission work that I saw an additional opportunity to contribute my skills and experiences to help Vancouver grow and prosper. And it was then that I first decided to run for elected office. And it has been my honor to serve on City Council and now as your mayor. Over the last 37 years that I've lived here, I've developed a deep appreciation for our city's history and that unique character. And I remain committed to ensuring that Vancouver continues to honor its past while looking to the future. A future where Vancouver maintains its high quality of life and all that we love about our city will continue to grow and evolve into the premier destination for businesses and tourism. Tonight, I'd like to share some of the achievements and progress the city has made over the past year, as well as some of the initiatives and projects that will guide the city's work into 2018 and beyond. With our continued focus on stable and well-managed finances, and striving for outcomes that emphasize long-term prosperity for Vancouver, I can say without hesitation that the state of your city is strong. While the city is continually faced with new opportunities and challenges, we're fortunate to be able to continue the positive trajectory that was set by past city councilors and mayors. Thank you, Tim. The years of strong, consistent, and disciplined council leadership leaves us well positioned to rise to those challenges on behalf of the community we serve. Your city leadership has worked hard to establish a strong foundation for Vancouver. And 2017 was an extremely busy year, and I'm proud of the progress our city has made, so let's review some of the highlights from last year. So as you can see behind me, the waterfront development is moving full steam ahead, with construction starting on 4 of the blocks, which will soon be home to restaurants and offices, stores, and residences. This summer, you'll be able to enjoy dining at one of the new waterfront restaurants. I know lots of us have been waiting for that. And maybe it's not so visible yet, but just on the other side of those cranes is the work going on to put the finishing touches on the new city park and that overwater pier. It'll be completed and open in the fall. It's kind of exciting when you think about it, that here in September, you'll be able to walk and bike along all the waterfront trails or just sit and enjoy looking out over the river, the beautiful Columbia River, and that is an opportunity that we haven't had. Right next door, the Port of Vancouver is working on plans for their waterfront project, and it'll provide commercial and residential space, a public marketplace, a hotel, and a pathway that will connect our city Renaissance Trail. We've been talking about this whole waterfront for quite some time, and we're so close to making it happen. We haven't been able to see this portion of the river for over 100 years. Throughout the rest of downtown, more than half a dozen major projects are adding more residential units and interest in our city's growing and changing skyline. These projects, along with a growing community of technology companies and social offerings are making our downtown more vibrant than ever, giving residents and visitors alike a variety of places to eat, drink, and shop. And maybe you didn't know, but just in the downtown area, more than 48 new restaurants, breweries, and coffee shops have opened in the last 5 years. Yeah, pretty impressive. But it's not just downtown. There is growth happening across the city. In 2017, the city issued more than 9,400 building permits, valued at over $300 million, and that is truly remarkable. Moving east, the area along Highway 14 near Grand Central is seeing development of the Quad Industrial Park, soon to be home to the new Home Depot Quote Center and its 200 employees. The master plan for that new industrial site campus includes a variety of office and retail development, and that could be home to more than 3,000 employees. All of this, combined with the commercial retail hotel permitting and development along 192nd Avenue, will contribute to the increased vibrancy and the opportunity for prosperity throughout the city. It's been exciting to see so much new business and private investment come to Vancouver. And word has been spreading about what a great place Vancouver is, and that means more jobs, more revenues, and continued strength in our city's economy. But we've experienced growth in the size of the city too. So last year we saw the annexation of Van Mall North, and as of August we welcomed 55 new residents into the city. So hand in hand with all of that economic development, we need to maintain our streets. Your City Council adopted a new complete streets policy last year, which will guide further improvements, such as adding landscaping and lighting and new pedestrian and bike-friendly roads. In 2017, our street funding strategy allowed the city to expand that pavement management effort, to launch a new sidewalk program, and to begin designs to upgrade a section of 18th Street just west of the new I-205 interchange. You'll see greener parks this summer. Last year's project to green our parks has been completed, and all of the existing irrigation systems in the neighborhood parks are up and running. The Parks Department also started a turf management program, which will be ongoing throughout the summer. So our progressive investment in key infrastructure, including more complete streets, adding bike lanes, and restoring and improving our parks, all of those enhance the livability and competitiveness for new private development to further expand and diversify our economy. Each of these areas contributes to our economic vitality, our vibrancy, our safety, and it helps to not only attract new people and new businesses to our region, but to assure that residents who live here now will want to stay and continue to call Vancouver home. Public safety remained one of our top priorities, and Vancouver is very fortunate to have such exceptional police officers and firefighters. In 2017, we started construction on 2 new fire stations as part of a service delivery improvement plan, and we also adopted a funding strategy recommended by a community resource team, which allows the VPD to add 61 new positions to the department by 2020. In response to the housing crisis that hit Vancouver particularly hard, we're able to move forward in several areas. Last year, the City Council allocated $4 million from the Affordable Housing Fund for construction, for rehabilitation of affordable housing units, and for homeless services. There you go. Good. Thank you. The residential tax abatement program was revised to focus more on affordable housing, and the accessory dwelling unit code was revised to help provide additional housing options. So I've just listed an incredible number of achievements from last year, and each one was made possible by the dedication of those who serve in our government, who, with incredible leaders and volunteers and along with business leaders and investors, have put their time and resources into our community. We have a wealth of social offerings, a strong philanthropic community, an influx of new businesses, access to recreational opportunities, a healthy economy, and a unique location on the shores of the beautiful Columbia River. And all of this combined makes Vancouver a great place to call home. So, what's in store for the future? There are many exciting initiatives and projects on the horizon, and I have a very optimistic outlook for Vancouver in 2018 and beyond. This year, we'll continue our strong focus on providing high-quality services to our residents and businesses and developing economic resources that benefit our entire community. We'll be actively pursuing and advocating for our long-term priorities, such as transportation, critical infrastructure needs, and developing affordable housing strategies. And this year, we'll continue to see the waterfront development taking shape, as well as several new housing and retail options citywide. But within this economic growth, with prosperity there with us, there's a fact that Vancouver continues to experience a rise in the number of people experiencing homelessness. Everyone realizes that we need to do more. And your council and I are committed to continuing our work on developing new and collaborative solutions with our county. And thank you, Chair Bolt, for being here with us this evening. The city took a step in this direction with the recent purchase of a building on Grand Boulevard to assist with our community's need for homeless services. The day center will soon be relocated to this building, allowing us to provide a broader and more comprehensive array of homeless services. But we'll also continue working on all of those remaining elements that the task force recommendations were to increase housing inventory and to improve access to affordable housing in Vancouver. Following through on the strategy recommended by the 2015 Streets Commission, the City of Vancouver now has the sustainable funding we needed to take care of our streets over time. Our street funding strategy has allowed the city to expand pavement management efforts and to kind of start tackling some of those backlogs of residential streets that failed a long time ago. The 2018 pavement management program will be our most robust one yet, $10.5 million. As we continue to improve street conditions citywide, many of the projects out on the east side of Vancouver. Pavement work is planned for over 130 lane miles. That's a 50% increase in work from just 2 years ago. As we are poised to receive a $5 million Public Works Trust Fund loan from the state of Washington, thank you, Senator, which will allow us to convert the majority of our street lights to more energy efficient and longer lasting LEDs, and we'll start that work this year. We'll continue to support and enhance improvements that streamline and improve our public safety staff's ability to protect residents and businesses. As a result of the new police funding package adopted last year, the VPD has recently been able to increase the number of traffic officers, so slow down, reinstate a property crimes investigation unit, and increase civilian support staff. We celebrated the grand opening of 2 new fire stations just last month, and these stations replaced 2 of our oldest stations in the city, and it'll improve response times and maximize efficiency coverage for all 4 stations of the Southwest City. And we're also pleased to partner with Fire District 5. They want a new fire station. It'll be located off Highway 503, kind of north of Orchards a little bit, and that will add the resources and improve the response for the entire fire department service, and we're looking forward to working with them on the construction, staffing, and operations. Station 11. So I want to tell you quickly about 2 transformational redevelopment projects currently underway. You may remember that the city purchased the Heights, and so we have the Heights master plan process, including the redevelopment of the 12-acre Tower Mall site, which was purchased last year. We're envisioning that vibrant urban village for this area, and it's a part of the city hasn't really enjoyed too many positive impacts for development for a few decades. When you think about it, it's kind of like what happened with Esther Short Park and the waterfront. These are examples of successful revitalization projects spurred by the city's investment in planning, in land, and in infrastructure. Out on our east side, the Columbia Palisades project has started in utilities construction, and this is that major reclamation and redevelopment of the quarry out at 192nd and SR 14. It was previously known as the Riverview Gateway. Their master plan includes a mix of single-family, multifamily units, as well as retail offices and a hotel space, and it'll be exciting to watch all of these projects come to fruition. So for transportation, we can look forward to several transportation improvement projects continuing to move forward this year. Southeast First Street is the big project, reaching from about 164th way out to 192nd, and it's among the city's top investment priorities for new road improvements. It'll address some safety and congestion out in that area, as well as position the adjacent area for continued economic development, the two quarries on either side of it. And thank you to C-Tran. A little more than a year after the Vine Bus Rapid Transit line opened on 4th Plain, C-Tran is planning a second BRT on Mill Plain. Mill Plain is one of the city's busiest transit corridors, and this new BRT line would not only increase efficiencies for riders, but help to better connect the city with transit to east to west from Mill Plain and maybe beyond 164th. We certainly plan to help you to make sure that you have the support you need to get that federal and state funding for this important project. Thanks, Sean. And while we're talking about transportation improvements, there is one little project that I have yet to mention, and I'm wondering if any of you know of it. Yes, the I-5 bridge. And thank you, John Cooke, for helping us with this. Replacing the I-5 bridge is as important project as ever before. Our residents are wondering what's going on with this ever-worsening I-5 congestion. 10,000 people have arrived in Vancouver after we lost the project. And those 10,000 people are wondering what's going on over here. There's no question that it is adversely affecting our economy and our quality of life here in Vancouver. I'm committed to continuing the conversation with state and local lawmakers from both sides of the river with the goal of exploring solutions for this problem. And it's an important issue for me, and that's why I'm representing Vancouver as a member of the ODOT Oregon Value Pricing Committee. So if you have nothing else to do next Monday night, 4 o'clock upstairs, April 2nd, City Council will hear a workshop presentation from ODOT on the prospect of tolling I-5 and I-205. Please come or watch the workshop. We need to learn as much as possible so that we can ask informed questions and to help make sure that we help craft a solution that benefits our entire region. So as you've heard from all we've reviewed this evening, we have many exciting developments currently underway and incredible opportunities ahead of us. I started out this evening saying we would talk about our shared vision for Vancouver. But I also hope that we will think about a shared prosperity as our economy continues to grow, because in order for us to continue to be safe and welcoming and vibrant and prosperous, we need our prosperity to be shared by all of our citizens. A city is where a lot of people come together to live, and there are more people coming to live in Vancouver than ever before. Our city's population is over 183,000 people. And while our city is on solid financial footing now, with continued growth in population and costs and inflation, the city services we currently know, expect, and demand will decline in the next 5 years. As cities, we are asked to provide more and more services to our residents, and residents expect a consistent and high level of service delivery. And looking at how we can create a long-term, sustainable funding source for city services is an important issue for our community this year. The residents from business world and the community leaders asked the city to respond and initiate a broad-based engagement with the community to develop that funding solution for city services and to support the community's aspirations for Vancouver. The effort, currently referred to as Vancouver Strong, is being led by a citizens committee, and that group will study the diverse ranges of all the different possibilities of funding and identify which programs and services should be prioritized in the future while maintaining and ensuring the essential service needs for our city's growing population. This summer, a citywide community engagement effort will be launched to ensure that residents have the opportunity to review and provide feedback to the Vancouver Strong Committee's recommendations before those recommendations are presented to the city later this year. I can't stress how important it is that we hear your voice. That helps us build a stronger future for Vancouver. We all want to make our community better, and by taking action today, we can prevent a state of decline in our city. Finding a solution now will allow us to maintain the safety, the viability, and the high-quality services that result in a spectacular Vancouver, a place we are proud to call home. That was a lot. So I told you it was going to be a busy year, and we've only had time to review just a few of the things that the city will continue to work on in 2018. And it was exciting to reflect on all the milestones Vancouver has achieved in the last year, and even more exciting to consider all the incredible opportunities in our future. Everyone in this room should be proud of how far we've come as a city, but also keenly aware of how much more we have to do. I'm ready. Your council is ready. The city organization is ready to continue our city's forward progress with energy and optimism. In my conversations with community leaders, how much our residents care and want to be a part of Vancouver's success energizes me. Vancouver's greatest asset is our citizens. And our city is full of creative, generous, and compassionate people. And if you'll look around the room, you'll see many of them. Thank you again for being here this evening to share in the vision of our city. We have truly unlimited possibilities ahead of us, and I can't wait to see what we accomplish together. Thank you so much. So we have some wonderful refreshments here. We also have the annual report to our citizens. And if I might draw your attention to our new children playing here in our park,